Welcome to the pod. I'm Tom Dream Pop Kennedy. I'm joined by Matt Sobrock Carvalho.
You're funny.
Dan Shoegaze Lozier and Chris No Frills Palumbo.
It's a good story. It's funny. You're a funny guy.
We are the Groovy Guys, and this is Create Expectations, the podcast for record collectors and music enthusiasts. Happy New Year, Groovy Guys. Welcome back.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New year, new start, fresh start.
Great to be back, yeah.
Hope everyone had a great festive season. Look, I know we told the podcast land that that was it for season one. We were done. We were coming back fresh in 2022 with a new season, but we had some unfinished business, and Glenn would not let us wrap up season one officially until we dropped one more bonus ep. We left 4 topics on the hot take wheel. Glenn, the agent of chaos, merchant of doom, purveyor of all things bad in the world. Actually, we finished up last year pretty touchy-feely. Let's see if we can...
Too touchy-feely.
Too
We're
touchy-feely.
all on the same page, yeah.
So
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's see if we can go back to that vibe we had when Dan was talking about how much he loves you too.
Oh,
This
God.
is
Don't ever put those words in my mouth.
This is the absolutely final bonus ep of season one. We're talking our leftover hot takes. Chris, remind us, what did we leave on the wheel at the end of 2021?
All right, we have Roger Waters or David Gilmour, a popular band you can't get into, 90s pop song, pick a song, and best one-hit wonder in your opinion. So, should I spin the wheel?
You want to spin the wheel, or do we just want to pick them one at a time at random?
Should we just start
do it.
spinning and then we'll go in order? All right. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And let's start with 90s pop song, pick a song.
Awesome. Hey, Matt, I think Matt's got to lead this off, right?
Yeah, I
'Cause
was going to say
just
it.
look
Oh,
at-
no,
look
I
at
can't
him.
lead this one off.
Look at him.
Bop.
You don't have a choice, Matt.
Yeah. Is it
All right.
bop?
No, it's not.
Real disappointed.
It would be in the top 5 for me, but I think
Okay.
if I'm going 90s pop, I'm going Len, Steal My Sunshine.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. Really?
So, actually, funny story, Chris, I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day, remember the Canamera games?
Yeah.
Okay, you and I met there for the first time ever. Tammy Laszlo was on that team. We all tried out for the mini golf team. And that song, that summer, played all the fucking time.
For gosh sake, watch your language.
Then go fuck your mother.
I love that song.
Yeah.
But I specifically remember we all made that mini golf team. That song was playing all the time. It's one of my favorite songs. And
Yeah, we
that-
won gold.
We
got
did win
medals.
gold. It was
Still
amazing.
have my medal. I
Yeah,
had no
I've
idea
got
you
it
were on that
somewhere.
team.
Do you still have it?
That's amazing. Yeah, I still have mine. It's in my fagging box. Oh, that's so exciting, Matt. Loved
Yeah.
it. What a great story. What a great tune.
Yeah, it's such a good tune. I don't know. Every time I hear it, I always get so pumped. It's
Yeah.
just a feel-good song.
It is. That reminds me of that summer. All right, Tom, what do you think?
Do you know what? I don't know if I read the assignment because I just assumed Matt's talked about like a 90s pop song that he loved. I'm not sure that would exist for me. The first 90s pop song that popped into my head, I thought we were kind of going like the biggest 90s pop song. So that's what I'm going with.
Oh,
So
okay.
the biggest 90s pop song, if that is the topic, is to me is the Spice Girls Wannabe.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
And unfortunately, it is ingrained deep in my brain because I have 2 younger sisters and they were obsessed
Oh, yeah.
with the
There
Spice
you go.
Girls. And they watched the Spice Girls movie back when you would have a VHS in your house.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Like it was the Spice Girls on repeat every now and then interspersed with The Lion King. That was it. Like the Spice Girls movie is etched deep into my brain.
We were just having fun.
What?
You know, fun, like ha 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 ha.
So for me, 90s pop song, Spice Girls Wannabe, it's a good song. It's a catchy.
is.
It's
I
a
love that
catchy.
song.
It's a catchy
Good
song.
tune.
Yeah, it's great. Love the Spice Girls. Big fan.
Yeah.
All right, mine here Savage Garden, Truly Madly Deeply.
Good one.
Great tune.
Did not see that coming.
It's on my it's on my Discogs list of, because they did put it out on vinyl, and I flagged it, and I'm like, I'm on the hunt for that. It's my go-to karaoke song.
Great Australian
Big
band.
fan.
Nice.
Great
Yeah,
Australian
I know. I
band.
didn't know that.
I know.
I didn't know that until we talked earlier this year. I was like, I had no idea they were Australian. But oh man, that song gets me every time.
That's a
Reminds
classic.
me of my buddy Mike. Reminds me of my buddy Mike Jones. Hits me right in the feels every time I hear it.
Love it. Okay, so we're not really hating on each other yet. Dan, you got something we can hate?
I'll be honest. Steal My Sunshine. Matt, you're the pop guy. I can't believe that's the song you picked. I'm sorry.
Why is it not?
Big fan.
You don't think it's pop?
Of all, it's definitely pop. But
Yeah.
like
There's
part of me doesn't really understand the assignment. Like
Neither.
the topic on our spreadsheet says 90s pop. Pick a song,
Yeah, just
right? So it's not like
It's like your guilty
what we
pleasure.
think is the greatest pop song of the 90s. And so like I guess I understand the pick based on kind of the sentimentality and the nostalgia that it brings to you.
Yeah.
So I'll understand. But
So what you got?
now that I understand how it's worded, I mean, I just kind of picked what I thought was one of the bigger pop songs of the 90s. I'm going with All the Small Things by Blink-182.
Ooh.
is that
nice.
pop?
Is that
Solid
90s?
choice.
That's pop music. Are you kidding me? That was on the top
99.
40.
What song did that come out? 99. Wow.
99,
What song?
yeah.
What year?
It's
Isn't
top
that
40.
considered pop punk?
Okay, so I'm going to go Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Is it pop? It's pop punk. It's pop punk.
That's a good choice.
that kills
It's
me.
definitely pop.
I
It's-
just
yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
to me it's like when that album came out, it was like skate culture,
Yeah.
Yeah.
American Pie is ingrained in
Yeah.
young
Classic.
American boy culture, right? Like
That guy's in my trig class.
Oh, no. Go, Trig boy. It's your birthday. Get in the mix.
everyone in my class needed to have that CD, right? And so
Oh, they were
Was
massive.
that Dude?
They were huge.
Dude Ranch? Was
Not-
that Dude Ranch? No.
No, Enema.
no, that's Enema of
Enema
the
is the
State.
State.
Enema of the State.
Like
Yeah.
to me, like it's tough, right? Because pop music, like I wasn't a big pop music guy in the 90s. Like I said,
Neither.
like when I was 10, I was listening to Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
And
I was grunge.
eventually
I was
it turned
deeply
into
grunge.
like for me it turned
see.
into like Green Day, Blink-182, and then MXPX, No Effects, Rancid,
Nice.
Pennywise. Like
So
that's
so
the kind of
Blink were
music I
your
listened
gateway
at
drug
that
to
time.
punk.
I think they're most people's gateway drug.
Pretty much,
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
They were I
Them or
dabbled
Green
in
Day,
Blink.
right?
Like Goldfinger, Green Day, Blink 182. Those are kind of
Like,
like
I
the
would say-
gateways.
I
Sex
would say
Pistols was my gateway
I had-
to punk.
I had Nimrod. I had Nimrod on CD,
Nice.
which would have been my
Yeah,
quote
okay.
unquote
Yeah.
punk introduction.
Yeah, they're punk.
I think
So
my
that's what
intro
I'm
to
going
punk was Tony Hawk Pro Skater. That was my intro to punk.
Yeah.
Yeah. like,
Skate culture, man. That was big at that time.
Huge.
I'm really surprised no one chose Backstreet Boys. Thought someone would have chosen them.
I was going
Wasn't
to,
into them.
but isn't Backstreet's Back comes out in 2000? It came out in 2000, didn't it?
Well, you can go back. Hang on.
Backstreet's
a second.
Back. Yeah. Do you know
Who
what
cares?
though?
They suck.
I don't know. I'm not impressed with. I'm gonna say, Dan's choice is a little too punky for me to be classic '90s pop.
Oh
but
my
there
god!
we go.
I mean, it's just
pop.
not-
It
it's
was
not
a top
punk.
40 song. What do you like? I don't. What do you think pop is? It's popular music.
I can feel your anger.
The Beatles were pop music, Chris.
That's true.
This is-
Rolling
yeah,
Stones were
okay.
pop music.
This is going to be interesting to go into one of the other topics we were talking about, one hit wonder, whether
Wonders,
we're being strict about the definition of a hit, because technically that means it was on the charts, right? So that'll be interesting. So why don't we spin the wheel and see what's next?
No, let's just
roll?
dive into one
Yeah,
hit.
okay,
Yeah,
let's dive
just roll
into one hit
hit.
wonder.
That's the next one anyway. All right.
Who
I'll
feels
start us
strongly
off
about
here.
this? Chris, what do you got?
I actually struggled with this because I got stuck in like the 90s pop scene where there seems to be a lot of one-hit wonders popping up in that time
And-
because they were just pumping out CDs.
Are we talking
Yeah.
best one hit wonder here too?
It said
That's what it says.
Best one hit wonder.
Cool.
So I went through that list and I came up with a couple songs and then this song hit me because of one of the other topics that was on the list. So here's my choice for best one hit wonder. 99 Red Balloons.
Oh yeah, great choice.
99
Nice.
La
Great
Balloons.
choice.
Great coach by Goldfinger.
Which
Great
One of
cover
my
by
favorites.
Goldfinger.
which is all how it all came around, and I was like, that is like, I like the original, I like the cover. I actually didn't know it was a one hit wonder until I started diving into it, and I was like, nope, that's it. That stands out for me. It's unique enough to be special in its own. It holds up against time. It's cheesy and poppy, and also can be covered in great ways. So there you go, 99 Red Balloons.
Nice, love it.
Great choice, Chris.
Okay, I'll go next because I find like I always go last on these. Just maybe because I went last on the U2 and I just got fired up. But to me, like best one hit wonder, this came right to the forefront of my head as soon as I saw the topic. This is the first song that came up. I also, because I'm not a big pop guy, I needed to make sure I did some research on big pop songs that were one hit wonders, and this one always comes to the top of those lists. Chumbawamba, I Get Knocked Down.
Yes.
Okay, so
I will argue that's not
that's
a
a
one
one
hit
hit
wonder.
wonder. And Dan, we're just gonna have to combine our answers because that was my choice as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a one hit wonder.
It's a one-hit wonder.
Name
Name another song.
100%.
Chris,
Without
okay,
Googling,
Chris
name another song.
Deep Cuts Palumbo over here, who just loves
And-
these like
and
shitty
also,
bands,
we're
and it's like,
talking-
oh, I'm a big fan of that whole album.
And we're talking
no,
about
I'm not.
a hit is a song that
It had to be
charted.
on the chart. Okay.
yeah,
So
they
na-
have-
so just name another song by them.
They have a ballad.
yeah, you can't
And,
name it.
you put me on the
is it
spot.
called
Why
A
I Wonder.
Ballad?
No, it's
Why
not.
I Wonder.
And it's so good. It's about a Mexican
Chris, stop.
revolutionary, and it's so good. I've talked about it on the podcast before.
Only you know it. No one else
Oh,
knows
it's
it.
so
They are
good.
one
And it
hit
wasn't a
wonder.
hit.
Let the hate flow through you.
And also,
And-
what a tune though. Let's just
And the
say
documentary
it.
is so
It's
good.
such
Such a good song.
thumping. It's about getting.
Such a good
It's
song.
about getting on the lash. It's so good.
You know they're anarchists, right?
Oh, it's called
They're
Tub
anarchist
Thumping,
punks.
right? Okay.
Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba from the album
okay.
Tub Thumper.
Yeah.
The
Van.
first song on the album, like that. Imagine putting that CD first song. You're ripping through it, and then the rest of the album just falls into the.
But it doesn't matter because it has stood the test of time. It's still
Absolutely.
a banger. And also, it was back
Yeah.
when singles were selling. So they're probably
Exactly.
fine. They're probably
Oh
perfectly
yeah,
okay
they made
with
a
it.
ton of money.
No, there's a whole watch the document. There's a YouTube documentary, and they're hardcore anarchists, and they're like punks, and they don't like the whole idea of how that song fits. It's worth the documentary. Worth watching it because they don't consider themselves like pop. They're like they consider themselves kind of like anarchist punkish.
There you go.
It's really interesting.
My other choice, just to throw it in there, because Dan and I had the same one, was going to be Alien Ant Farm Smooth Criminal.
Oh,
Nice.
good one.
But Alien Ant Farm did have a couple other singles
That
that hit the
charted?
charts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then it's invalid. I think I've said this before. It really sucked when I went and saw them live. They were playing at a festival, and they played Smooth Criminal, and like half the crowd just left afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
Poor
I
guys.
hate when
Wow.
Yeah,
That really
I hate
sucked.
that.
All right, Maddie, bring it on home. What's your one-hit wonder?
That was my choice as well.
Get out of town.
Bigly.
So
So,
I've got two others though that were big in the 90s.
Before you go to that, Chris, I just want to let
okay.
you know that you're wrong, and we are
Yeah,
right, and
you're
this
so
is the
wrong.
biggest one-hit wonder of all time.
Done.
Okay,
I'm
Amazing.
just-
continue. Get
I'm
off.
just-
Stop googling things, Chris. All we can hear is you.
I'm not.
It's your keyboard.
I just now-
trying to prove us wrong. It's not.
I'm not
called-
trying to prove you wrong.
It's not called.
I'm not trying to prove you wrong. I'm just trying to remember El Fusilado is the song I was thinking of.
Yeah,
That's
no one
all I
knows that
wanted to-
song. No one else knows
It's
that song.
called-
Only
Okay.
you
It's
do.
called El Chris is wrong. Everyone else is right. Matt, hit us with those other ones, and we'll wrap it up.
All right, so my other ones that came to mind right away were the New Radicals, You Get What You Give, and OMC, How Bizarre.
Oh, how
that's a good
bizarre,
one,
how
yeah.
bizarre. That's a good one
And then
too.
that was
Yeah.
covered by Weird Al, right? Stole my car.
Yeah.
Stole my car. Was it Weird Al who did that? Or maybe it was
I
someone
think
else.
so.
Anyway.
Sounds like a Weird Al song.
One that came to mind was "Cause I Got High" was a
Oh
close.
yeah.
Is that a
Oh,
one?
he's got a second song.
Does
He's
he?
got a
Crazy
another
rap.
song though. Yeah.
And it's on the charts.
Yeah.
Good song though. There's actually a really interesting. Do you know what I coincidentally recently listened to? And I'll shout out Stuff You Should Know podcast. They did a How One Hit Wonders Work. So they do a How Blank Works, and they did
that's
How
cool.
One Hit Wonders Work. And it's really interesting. They talk about how it has to have been on the charts to have been a hit, and then they also talk about some really popular bands that never had a quote unquote hit. So I won't ruin it, but if you're interested in that sort of thing, check out that pod. I'm really glad there was some synergy there, and sorry, Chris, for
Yeah.
I'm just shit, boys.
It's all,
all right.
it's all love. It's all love. This is a hot
all
take.
love. Yeah. Look, hey, we need some fire. We need some fuego.
No,
every now and then.
I'm a big fan. No,
Okay,
All right.
guys, we need
I'm
to
still
do.
trying to
we need
prove
to
you
do.
wrong, but there's no.
Just
it's not
stop.
gonna happen.
Just
stop.
stop.
We need to
No,
do
seriously,
Roger
though?
Waters or David Gilmour next. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I want to leave the other one till last.
Okay. No doubt. Okay. So, well, who wants to? I feel like
want
we're
me to
going to
just
be in a
continue?
couple of camps
Let me-
here in terms of like.
Yeah, let me.
the
I'll
depth
I'll
that
start
we're
things
going
off because I
into.
don't often start with the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
A huge Pink Floyd fan, so this one's a little bit hard for me to answer because Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall are obviously, I think, would be most people's two favorite albums.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love The Wall for its artistic direction, which was primarily driven by Roger Waters, and even Dark Side of the Moon was mostly driven by Roger Waters. But for me,
The Wall certainly was.
David Gilmour, his guitar playing and his singing are my favorite part of Pink Floyd. So I got to go with David Gilmour because of that.
Okay. I disagree.
I think he's the better singer of the two, and I just find he's a phenomenal guitarist.
Yeah. Don't disagree with that. Chris? I'm going to bring this one home because I feel like Dan and I are going to be at opposite ends of the spectrum. But
All right. Yeah, and I think I'm going to be pretty neutral on this in the sense that I'm not a big, and I wasn't going to lie through this whole thing. I'm not a big enough fan of either to know what one does better than the other. So when I listen to a Pink Floyd album,
yeah, so why don't we tell us what you like about Pink Floyd, and then that will be your answer.
Okay, so what I like about Pink Floyd is like the whole thing, like the way everything comes together. That's what I like
Roger
about Pink
Waters.
Floyd, when it feels like a perfectly wrapped little package.
Yeah, that's Waters.
And so that's
Roger.
why I don't know I haven't done my research. I don't know who does what, but I never kind of wanted to because I didn't want to pick a camp to be in. I've always found like I enjoyed the record. I love The Wall. I love Dark Side of the Moon. I didn't need any more. I didn't want to go outside of my comfort zone in it. So
The Wall is your favorite Pink Floyd album, yeah? You've said that before?
yeah, I think I do enjoy The Wall better.
Then it has to be Roger Waters because
Has to be Roger Waters.
that is pure and simple Roger Waters concept, start to finish. He presented
And
that.
there you go.
He
So
presented,
you pick.
Yeah, but you can't just say that because David Gilmour wrote "Hey You," "Comfortably Numb." Like he wrote a lot of the songs on that album.
I would say
despite
probably
Roger
"Comfortably Numb"
Waters.
is one of my favorite songs.
It's a vexed
Me too.
it's a vexed issue. Like
Yeah.
like Waters is the band leader, and Waters presented The Wall ready to go basically, but they added tracks. Yeah, it's so where are you landing?
So that's the thing. I'm not even on the board. Like I don't know how to separate them.
Okay.
To me, there's no need to separate, which is why I struggled with this question. Kind of how people have struggled with other ones, which was the idea of like, it's not that I don't care enough. It's like I've never liked one without the other. So to me, they're a package deal, and that's what makes it perfect. So I'm gonna stay right in the middle. I'm gonna cop out on this one and say neither. I need them both.
So Chris has got
There it is.
splinters in his ass from sitting on the fence. Matt, where do you stand?
Yeah.
So I see kind of a little bit what you're talking about, Chris, but I got to go David Gilmour. Sorry, I got to go
Thank
David
you.
Gilmour.
Oh,
That guitar tone, the way he plays. Again, I'm with Dan there. His vocals, that stuff sticks out to me.
okay. So Chris, and the reason this is a topic, well, the reason I wanted this to be a topic is because there are two distinct camps. You know, Waters was there from the start. Gilmour came in later as a preparing to replace Syd Barrett or to pick up where Syd Barrett was dropping off because of his own personal issues. And then Waters left Pink Floyd after the final cut, and Gilmour has been carrying the torch since. And they're two really distinct personalities, and they don't get along. And you could take or leave both of them in terms of their personalities sometimes. There is a fair bit of arrogance there. So, you know, there are two camps, and they've both had solo careers, successful solo careers outside of Pink Floyd, and they both have elements of themselves that are really distinct to Pink Floyd. So that's the reason that I wanted it to be a topic. If we were talking about them as individuals, separate to the band, I would say David Gilmour. As a solo artist, I much prefer his work. They're not concept albums. It's just he's a great guitar player and a singer, and he writes great songs. And certainly his first solo album and Roger Waters' first solo album, for me, it's Gilmour. Waters' first solo album is actually, interestingly, he presented the band, after Dark Side of the Moon, he presented the band with The Wall and another concept album called The Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking. I think that's what it's called.
And what's that hitchhiker doing here? Is every drifter we meet going to move in with us?
Anyway, it's something like that. And which is amazing. Like, he presented these two epic albums as concepts, and they went with The Wall. And then he released the other one as a solo project. But since he has left the band, Pink Floyd albums have not been great. And so for that reason, and that's my opinion, obviously, but particularly the last two have not been good. And so for me, I don't think Pink Floyd is Pink Floyd without Roger Waters. So I'm going to go with Roger Waters.
Yeah, but just to build on that and to reinforce my point, Tom, is that Pink Floyd was really nothing without David Gilmour either. Because Piper at the Gates of Dawn is only iconic because of it being their first album.
No, it's iconic because of the psychedelic, because they were pioneers in psychedelic rock.
Yeah, but outside of that, no one gives a shit about that album. Nobody gives a crap about Piper at the Gates of Dawn other than diehard psychedelic rock
Pink
fans
Floyd
and for
fans.
people who love Pink Floyd. To me, there's a ton of songs on that album that I actually really like because I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until David Gilmour came in that really pushed it to the next level because he had the voice, because of his guitar playing, and mixed with Roger Waters, with his concepts and his album concept ideas to really push the band into the next level.
This is where, for me,
as soon as they split.
It fell apart.
That's why Pink Floyd doesn't. That's why it fell apart.
Yeah.
And to me, David Gilmour's solo career is just as shitty as Roger Waters' solo career.
I really love Gilmour's first album, but I will say what I do appreciate about Gilmour, and they don't like each other. They will not reform Pink Floyd as its whole because they just do not like each other. But what I do appreciate about Gilmour is he's kept the torch burning. Like, he's kept. They are doing reissues, they're re-releasing music, they're re-releasing live concerts that we haven't heard before. He's still touring and playing their music, and Waters is as well, and doing the big show around the wall. And look, I appreciate what you're saying, and I appreciate both of them, but I think the Waters, that approach to concept albums is what made them iconic. And so for me, that's why he's the piece of the puzzle that's most important.
You know, I see where you're coming from, but I think you may underestimate how much of a hand David Gilmour also played into that. Because he wrote probably their best tracks. Comfortably Numb, Time, Wish You Were Here.
He wrote, and this is the thing where I think I said his solo stuff is better because it's not concept albums, it's just great tracks. I think he writes great tracks. I think Waters comes up with great concepts.
Okay, so this is what I'm kind of saying.
I agree with you, yeah.
You kind of need one with the other.
So you kind of one without the other.
For it to work.
That was my whole thing, is I couldn't pick because, again, I've never actually cared about anything other than those 2 albums sort of thing. I didn't even know Pink Floyd came out with, there's been 2 new albums. I had no idea they were even still, I knew they were like touring.
The last,
but like,
yeah, they still made music after Roger Waters left.
Yeah, but like I never listened to it. It never charted like the other things. So yeah, I think you're both wrong. I think I'm right on this one.
Honestly, I you know, it's funny. Like Chris wins this one by default of him not giving a shit about the band.
I don't care. Like, you don't have one without the
Do you
other.
know what I thought? I thought you were going to do what you did with that Zeppelin one, where you're just like, you could take or leave Pink Floyd.
No, do you know what? I thought I could, and then I went back and listened again, and it's just too good. It's too good.
Yeah,
and it's just the whole album experience is too good. Between the artwork and the thoughtfulness of where they play songs and the melodies and the construction.
I think there'd be a lot of people who feel much more strongly than we do in terms of those 2 camps of Waters or Gilmour.
Yeah,
and that's something I've never liked in music.
No, but that's the whole point of the hot take is to have a take that is hot.
Hot, yes, I know, and we've been kind of copping out. Maybe that's why we chose this on the wheel.
They're not spicy enough.
These ones aren't spicy enough, and maybe we'll
we gotta revisit this.
This last one's gonna get real spicy.
Okay, yeah. So here we go. Last one on the wheel. A band you can't get into.
A popular band.
A popular band you can't get into. Mine was gonna be the Beatles. That changed this year.
Okay, so
if you honestly would have said the Beatles, I would have.
We probably would have ended the pod.
Burlington.
Yeah,
and I would have smashed your door down. I would have slapped you. I honestly can't. Like, they have a song for everybody, and thank you for having come to that realization, Chris.
Yeah, and Dan, it was all you, bud. It was John Palumbo's been pushing the Beatles on me for years, and I just kept ignoring him, and then Let It Be Naked kicked that down.
I did what John could never do. I love it.
What a guy.
Sorry, John.
So, Chris, you haven't told us what your actual choice is.
Oh, sorry. I did want to go first again. But okay. Here we go. Carvalho, this is just for you.
Oh, no.
Muse.
No way. No way. What is this garbage?
I knew he was going to say that.
Whoa.
God, I hate Muse. I can't.
Why?
I can't do it.
Wow.
Like,
I don't get that.
There's just nothing. Everyone, they're like, listen to this song, it's amazing, and then it's just nothing and disappointment.
Have you listened
Knights of
Sidonia?
Sidonia?
Everything.
Hang on.
Everything you send me, I'm just like, yeah, okay, this one's gonna work. It just
no
doesn't
Citizens
hit.
Erase, no Dead Star, In
Matt,
Your World, none of those.
I'm not even lying when I say I've tried listening to albums. I've tried it on random to see if like one just like spikes my interest.
Knights of Sidonia.
Nothing. Nothing.
I honestly
one of the
don't.
best
Honestly,
guitar riffs.
I can't kind of understand where Chris is coming from.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I love Muse, but I can see why it could turn people off.
I could understand saying I don't get the hype, but like not getting into them.
No, I can't. Like I've honestly tried, and I'm someone who doesn't give an old-fashioned try very often. But everyone,
I appreciate the try,
and you've broken Matt's heart. Look at it.
I know.
You've
from Matt
broken his heart.
Matt's pissed. Yeah.
My buddy
you gotta
Brian
go to a concert
Santos
with him tomorrow.
Like,
yes, it's gonna be.
I
Awkward.
might not be going now.
Yeah, he's just gonna stab me in the back in the mosh pit.
No.
Or would you rather your house blows up next time?
I appreciate the try. There's nothing that bothers me more than someone says, "Oh, I don't like this band or this artist or whatever," and I'll be like, "Well, have you listened to this? Have you listened to that? Like, have you listened to an album of theirs?" No, I just don't like them. Like, I don't like that one single that's on the radio. It's like,
yeah, okay, that's not the band.
They've got so much more,
yeah,
like out there. Give me a break.
And I feel like I've given it the honest try, and it doesn't hit. So
fair enough.
Go. Muse.
Fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't care. Don't like.
I can understand that.
I'm sorry. There you go.
I mean, I feel like someone needs to go and give Matt a hug. But other than that, thank you for sharing. Virtual hug.
It's time for Matt to shit on another band then.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, Matt, what do you got? It's got to be some sort of pop punk or can rock.
It's none of those, actually. So One band I've just never been able to get into, with the exception of maybe one song, Maroon 5. I don't get why they're as big as they are. I really don't get it. Like, to me, they've got one, maybe two good songs off their first record, and everything after that. Actually, sorry, that's not true. Their second record has one song. It was one of their singles where I was like, okay, I can kind of jive with that. I give them more of a shot. Everything after that, don't care for. I can't stand to listen to it. When it comes on the radio, I turn it off.
Oh, wow.
I don't turn
That
the
much.
I turn the radio off.
I definitely agree with you
I
on that.
cannot get into them. I don't know what it is. Part of it, I've heard, again, true or not true, I don't know. I've heard too many stories about Adam Levine being way too into himself. And he kind of showed a little bit of that at that Super Bowl performance. I can't get into them. I don't know what it is. But ironically enough, I like when he's featured on songs. The one song he's done with Slash, great tune.
Right.
Like that.
Interesting.
But
I
as a
didn't even know he
band,
did a song
I
with Slash.
cannot get into them.
A
Interesting.
lot of strong feelings.
But do you only like the song because Slash is on it?
It's Slash's song. Like, it's off of his first solo
So
record.
you could take or leave his involvement.
So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What is their big hit? What's Maroon 5's big hit again? This Love?
What was the name of their first single?
This love
I don't think
has
I've ever-
taken its toll on me. That one?
So no, not that. That's the one I was talking about. But they've got Sunday Morning as well, which
I have no idea.
is the
No.
one song where I'm like, okay, I like that tune. They got a good acoustic version of it. I like it. And then there's the other one, Wake Up Call, on their second album. I was like, okay, I kind of jive with this. It's kind of a cool song. I can't get into anything else they've put out. Like, none of it. I've given them a try.
I'm with you, Matt.
I appreciate the way that you've
Like-
framed that, like that you gave him a shot, and there's a couple where you're like, okay, like this is a good song, but you've tried to get into it more. You've looked into it and you've gone, nah, it's not for me. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Mm-hmm.
Even the one song they did with Christina Aguilera, I was like, at first I was like, it's okay. It's kind of a fun song, but I like her part of the song. I just, I don't understand why they're as big as they are. I think that's probably what drives a little bit of my dislike for them is because there's a lot of more other, I'm sorry, better songwriting out there. I don't know. I just feel like there's better music out there that deserves more attention than the radio hits they're putting out.
But the commercial
the manufactured
radio and-
stuff.
Yeah, they're commercially
They're
produced.
part of the record label.
I think
machine,
Adam
right?
Levine. Yeah, Adam Levine being a good-looking guy is part of the push to, get these on the charts, right? And to have the best production and songwriting teams behind them to make sure that their songs are polished enough to hit the charts.
They're part of the machine for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matt, do you have Maroon 5 on vinyl?
No.
Oh, wow. It's not in the collection.
Nope.
Are you bringing this home, Dan, or do you want me to bring it home?
Well, it's likely that you guys all love this band. So
Yes.
We're not doing the
unless
whole-
you feel the same that way, because I feel like I should end it.
Okay,
because you guys
but
are
we're
gonna
not doing
hate
the
my
whole
pick.
U2 thing again. We've already done that.
It's not U2. It's
Okay.
not U2. Because they're not that popular.
That's
of a
what
band.
I caught. Okay.
Shots fired again.
I think
right.
I'm going to piss some people off with this. Maybe not in this group.
Good.
Maybe you guys will understand it. But similar to what Matt was saying about, like, you've given them a shot, and I like one of their songs, and that's Hotel California. But other than that, I cannot get into the Eagles. I do not understand the hype. They are overproduced. They are too polished. It's not rock and roll. Just a bunch of guys who can sing well, and I don't like it.
I can pick,
My wife is
going
going
to
to be pissed.
I can pick that up. But have you
I get
listened to
what you're
Hell
saying.
Freezes Over?
No, I don't want to listen to We're Touring Again, We're Touring Again, We're Touring Again.
Yeah, but it's like it's an unpolished version of all of their hits.
I've listened to the Hotel California from that.
Yeah, but have you listened to things like Desperado and New York?
So you're
what is it,
saying
New York
it's
State
like
of Mind?
it's an unproduced version? Because my total problem with them is it's just so overproduced. I'm really not into that era of what Asylum Records was doing, right? where they were just churning out all this stuff that was middle of the road. You know, like Jackson Brown. I don't get it.
No,
I love the Eagles.
I'm kind of with you, man. I mean, there's really only a couple songs that I'd say are good, but
I know people who love them love them.
There are a couple songs on Hell Freezes Over that I think are pretty strong.
Tell you
in
what,
that version.
I'll give it another listen, and I'll come back just in case Lee tells Chris he's not allowed to be on the pod with me anymore because of my opinions. You can't hang out with him anymore.
Like, Lee's gonna lose her mind. That's like one of her favorite bands.
Well,
she would argue.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
That I know,
of course not.
I kind of get what you're saying there, Tom. Like, again, I like some of their songs. I'm not a diehard fan of theirs or like a big fan by any means. But again, I don't understand why they're as popular as they are.
And look, this is what I'm saying. Like, I love Hotel California. It's a great song.
Yeah.
I'll sing along to it. But they're a popular band that I can't get into. I've tried to get into them and I can't. I'm not saying they're shit. I'm not saying you shouldn't
not
listen
like I
to
said
them.
with Muse.
I'm just saying I can't get into them. And it's because, I'm a product of the grunge era. I grew up with grunge, and they are far too produced for someone whose ear was trained on grunge.
Yeah, okay, I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's Dan's winding
good
up.
segue.
Here
Good
he goes.
segue into my pick.
And here we go.
The worst, most overproduced trash rock and roll that this planet has ever heard. Guns N' fucking Roses.
Oh, thank
I
goodness.
hate that band.
Oh,
I hate
damn.
that band. I hate Slash. I hate Axl Rose. I don't like any of their singles. I think Slash is the worst guitarist out there. I hate his tone.
I don't
like Axl's singing. Sorry, the Edge is the worst guitarist. But I don't like their sound at all. I don't like anything they do. Everything they touch is just.
I was not expecting that.
Wow.
Welcome to the jungle.
It.
Yuck. Paradise City. Yuck.
Oh no!
Knocking on heaven's door. How could you do that?
Oh,
Loved it.
How could you to Bob?
he's brought the fuego.
You know? How could you do that to Paul McCartney with that trash cover of Live and Let Die? I'm just like, I hate that band.
Yeah.
Dan,
And I know there's and listen, I remember Guns N' Roses from like a grade 8 dance. Like this kid who was in a grade older than us. He was the kid that always wore like jean jackets and stuff. I always thought he was so cool. He brought Guns N' Roses to the dance, and I thought I was like, oh man, that's got to be such a cool band. There's skulls and a cross on the album cover. Like, I got to listen to Guns N' Roses, right? And I could never listen to it because I just didn't have the CD at the time.
Yeah.
But then when I finally started listening to them, and like I really tried to listen to these guys, nothing sits with me. And everything that I listen to just makes me hate them more.
Wow.
I really?
Do you know,
Sweet Child of Mine?
Shocked.
Do you know what? I actually, I love Appetite for Destruction. I think it's a
That
fantastic
itself is
album.
the greatest hits album.
You guys talked about that album, I think, in the first episode. And I had to keep my mouth shut.
Big fan that you did.
Because you guys are having this love fest on Guns N' Roses, and I'm gonna leave. I'm like, I'm leaving this for the hot take. Like,
I'm just relieved when I was talking about grunge. You had this look on your face. I thought you were gonna say Nirvana was the band.
We would have had to.
And I was like, that's the
please.
end.
I'm a big grunge guy.
I know. I just wasn't. I just had a bad feeling.
Yeah, so I thought it was going to be Soundgarden, and I was going to shed a tear. That's what I was working myself up to.
So I've got questions. Why don't you like Slash's guitar playing? I'm curious.
I love.
Is it simply his tone, or?
I love the prosecution.
I hate his tone. I think his tone is just over boosted.
You gotta admit, he can shred.
I know he can shred, but that doesn't impress me. Shredding does not impress me because shredding, it doesn't tell me anything more than you're just shredding for the sake of shredding. Like, I don't see.
But he does it the best.
He really does.
No, he doesn't. No,
He makes
Joe
it.
Satriani does it way better than that.
Yes. He makes it.
Say again.
Joe Satriani is way better shredder than Slash.
Yeah, but like,
Fair
Yes.
There are
but-
tons of
yeah,
way
but-
better shredders. Ingwie Malmsteen's a better shredder than Slash.
Randy Rhoads.
Yeah, but in the
Randy Rhoads.
Zach Wilde.
But he does the it's the top hat with the shredding. He said he sell. It's the cheese that he sells with it. His stupid hair.
Why is the
I
top
hate
hat
his perm.
important?
I hate his perm.
It's not.
I
It
don't
is.
like
The
his
whole thing's
perm.
important. He sells. It's the U2 argument again, but I'm on the other side of this. He's selling a brand. Slash is a brand. He sold
You
himself.
hated the fact that Bono is a brand.
Yeah, I hate it. But Slash.
And
let me
I know,
You're
and
an
honestly,
enigma.
I think that's another reason why I hate Guns N' Roses because
I
of
think
their
so.
overproduction. There's just I don't get the art behind it, and the thing is, guys, like I don't listen to a lot of pop music, so I hate on a lot of pop artists, right? And that's just kind of like a bit of pretentious music love on my end, right? But everything sounds overproduced and bad. I just don't like any of them. I'm sorry.
That's definitely the
Guns N'
hottest.
Roses,
That's definitely the
garbage.
hottest of the hot take, though, because
Yeah.
you know they are almost universally loved,
Yeah.
and they were huge, like
Yeah.
enormous.
They still are quite big.
They still
Like
are.
their
Even,
tours pull in massive money.
even though it's no bueno these days. Like I was so upset when Axl toured with
Chinese.
AC/DC. I was like, that's not on.
So wait, Dan. Then do you like Velvet Revolver?
I do.
Oh,
I do like Velvet Revolver.
Because see,
So you like-
I'm a
see,
big
a
Slash fan.
a lot of
I hate
songs-
Axl Rose. I've always hated Axl Rose. He's like a pretentious douchebag. He's the perfect lead singer in the sense of how douchebaggy he is. But like, that's interesting that you like Velvet Revolver.
I feel like
their first album
I feel
is
like
fire.
two of these
Yeah, but
picks
I
have
don't
really
love
broken
Velvet
Matt's
Revolver,
heart.
But
Look at Matt.
I do
He's just
like
sitting
some of
there.
this-
He's so upset right now with you two.
Why you so mean to me?
He's crying.
We've gone on this journey.
I'm really
for-
shocked. I did not see that one coming.
We
I really didn't.
We build all these bonds throughout this pod, and then
I
you
know.
guys just go and tear them all down. We're gonna have to do some therapy before we start season 2.
it's not fair. Matt loves so much music, right?
Gonna
Like,
have to
Matt's
do,
such
like,
a fan of music.
A
that
four
it's like-
per.
Imagine you said Eminem.
We're gonna. Oh man.
Oh no, I love Eminem.
Slim Shady.
We're gonna have to do like a 4
That one would
person,
have hurt more.
like couples
Yeah.
therapy, but for 4 people. Quadruples therapy is coming up.
It's not so much that I'm hurt. I'm just shocked. I did not see that coming. I
Neither
really
did
didn't.
Like it. All right. Okay.
Okay, well, look, I want to just do me a favor. I know we're wrapping things up now for season 1. This is officially it. We're going to be back later this year. And, you know, we're going to start season 2. We're going to come out better. But I just want you guys to do me a favor. Chris and Dan, I need you to call Matt and just make sure that you smooth things over between now and episode 1 of season 2, because I don't want this tension.
Matt, don't take it personally, man. You are
I'm not. I'm
you're
all
not
good. I'm all
Slash.
good.
I
He's got a
love
tear.
you.
He's faking it.
I
He's
hate
faking it.
Guns
You
N'
gotta,
Roses.
It's been really quiet.
I might hate them more than you two. I don't know.
All right, so we're going to do a different
up
hot
there.
take that's next year. It's just going to be Dan, and he's just going to be arguing with himself
Yeah.
about Guns N' Roses or U2.
Yeah.
I cannot
Please.
wait. That's it. That is officially it. We are done with season 1. In the meantime, hit us up on Instagram at CreateExpectationsPod. Send us an email, createexpectationspod@gmail.com. Hit us up online, createexpectationspod.com. Get on whatever it is, what fandangled app you're on right now listening to us. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get a notification when we're back on the airwaves. Until next time, keep digging and spinning.
The Groovy Guys are Tom Kennedy, Dan Lozier, Chris Palumbo, and Matt Carvalho. With your host, Tom Kennedy. Music by Dan Lozier, post-production by Matt, and album art by Chris.